All right, how's it going? My name's Fan. This is Chug. Today I am going to be chugging a 450 North Blueberry Dessert Slushy XL. So
Oh my God.
for that, it's gonna be nice and thick. All right,
So and it's like at 1%, right?
basically. Yeah. Ricky,
All right, guys. Ricky with the good beers here. I'm going to be chugging Juice Equals Juice. Great Notion Equilibrium collaboration. Thanks to my boy Gordy.
Dude, that's so good.
Gordy.
Gordy drinks craft. I'm going to be drinking or chugging this extra toppings that you gave me, Cisco.
Nice.
The Cellar Maker and Slice. It's
it's delicious.
double dry hop with Nelson and Strata hops.
Al.
Beer lover here. I'm going to be chugging this can of Yeast Rutherford, which is actually from a gypsy brewer called Best Friends Lunch. It's made at the Voracious Brewing in Connecticut here, and it's just a regular IPA, no frills, and I believe it's Citra, and of course Mosaic.
Bruja.
Hoppy Bruja, I'm gonna be super lame and I'm chugging a mango cart because it's only 4% and yeah, life.
That's a really high beer right there.
Sam.
Ice cream brews and chugging for me today. I'm gonna do Romeo and Julius from
Delicious.
orange cream milk.
Rich.
Drunken Monkey here. I'll be chugging the Answer. This one's called Sus, and it is a oatmeal New England style IPA with 100% Mosaic.
J-Ho.
Craft Wedges here, and I'm going to be chugging Drecker, multiple ectogasms,
Nice.
Citra, and Mosaic hops.
Did you say multiple orgasms?
I wanted to say that.
So for those of you who haven't already noticed, today we are being joined by our special guest, BeerBabeJess. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey guys, I'm Jess, otherwise known, of course, as BeerBabeJess from Chicago, currently spending time in San Diego. I am so pumped to be here, so thanks for having me. And I got this beer from my friend, Beerology. She gave me this McKellar. It's actually this raspberry limbo. And the reason I'm chugging it, Gordy can attest to this, I suck at chugging. So this is a 0.3%. This is supposed to be their NA. Don't worry, I have some haze here, the Haze Queen, and then of course, a little something else to sip on and cruise with, we'll talk about later, but
Sweet.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. If you guys aren't already poured out, go ahead and pour it out now. Bruja, you are in the center, so you're going to count us down.
All right, glasses up.
Look at those mugs, I love them.
And 3, 2, 1, cheers.
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 Oh, that was horrible. That was really bad. This is seriously carbonated. This is overly carbonated. That's really.
I had several ectogasms drinking that.
Oh, that's horrible.
Chugging for the rest of my life.
That McKellar was probably the only one I enjoyed of the NA beers the whole month that I did Sober October.
Oh, nice. You had that? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah,
It was really good. It was like juice, very light.
Nice. So today our topic, of course, is hype beers. So anybody want to give a definition, or at least what you think of as a hype beer?
The whale, man. It's the whale that everybody does.
Well, I personally, go ahead. Yeah, I was gonna say I personally think it's a couple different layers to being hyped, right? It depends on either exclusivity, right? How hard it is to get, or just the social media hype. You know, sometimes people just want to get it because, you know, everybody else has it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think definitely like what adds to the hype is can art and like the names, like the ectogasm. It's just like it's such a play on what is that, Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like people want to like relive their childhood, sort of kind of thing.
Definitely. I saw a few cans. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Jess.
It's crazy. Yeah, that. Do you guys remember that Frosted Flakes beer? I think it was someone on the East Coast did it.
Oh yeah, it was. Oh god, it's at the. They're out of Jersey. I can't remember the name. No, Magnify. Magnify maybe.
did that, like, yeah, that Frosted Flake. Like, it's just the nostalgic stuff too, you know. So I think that's a part of it, and just knowing sometimes, like, even Hot Butcher is like super hype in Chicago and like trading a lot, and it's like, no matter what, just because it's Hot Butcher, everyone wants it. Like, everyone gets excited about it. That's another big one.
Yeah. I thought it was okay. It wasn't all that great.
Which one did you have though?
I forget. I have to go through my own tap and find it. I got it through a trade.
Yeah.
But like Bruja had mentioned, the can art and the names and stuff definitely play on the whole, what do you call it, the Instagrammability, I guess, right? New word. I made it up right now. You know, people get creative with the pictures and stuff. So, you know, a few places mentioning the beer, and then everybody wants to, like, hey, I want to get that beer as well.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You had mentioned the rarity. If the harder it is for me to get it, I mean, really, it's almost like bragging rights. You know, like, you got it, you got the can, the bottle, whatever. But if it's really hard to get, I mean, who doesn't want the ones that are difficult to get? I know I do personally, just from my own personal experience. Also, like, a collaboration brews that are hard to get, I mean, everybody wants to get their hands on that too. You know, even if they're been rated to not be that great, people want to get their hands on it.
But what about when a hype beer is actually really good?
Well, that's something I actually wanted to touch on, which is just because a beer is a hype beer does by no means make it a bad beer. Like, there's a reason I think a lot of these, in a sense, hype breweries are known as hype breweries because they did make, at least at one point, really, really good beer, and people just loved it. And doesn't mean they're still making great beer, but it's definitely a possibility because, I mean, they know how to make really good beers.
So I'm going to throw one hype beer that's actually, or a company that's really good, Great Notion. Their hype is out of control, but their shit is fire.
Yeah.
Right, they back up their stuff.
I have not had one bad Great Notion, and it lives up to the name.
Right.
But also, like, you have 450 North, which is completely hype. I've had several of their beers. I'm not saying that they're horrible, but I'm not really, like, you know, breaking down the door to get their beer. It's okay. I'm not saying anything bad about them, but for me personally, the Berliner Weisses, they're okay. You know, they're not bad.
I had two, and I was really wasn't impressed. So
right. I think the can art really just blows it up a lot.
Let's go ahead and pour our cruising beer, and we can start talking about those. But before we do that, Ice Queen, Rich, or J Hump, you have anything to add to the definition of hype beers?
I think a lot of it, like she said, has to do with the can art, but it's also the reputation of the brewery. You know, like, just it doesn't matter what they throw out, somebody's gonna pick it up and fast. People are saying they're in search of things and they don't even know what they're asking for most of the time. So it's the reputation by word of mouth. You know, they're just like, oh, I want to try it, and they have no idea what pops are in it, nothing. They're just like, give it to me. It says monkish, you know.
I just had one of those infamous spillovers from the smoothie beer.
Nice.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Is that what you're cleaning over there?
Yeah. So that was wonderful.
So, Jason, in your area, is there like a hype brewery, a hype beer in your area right now? Like, what would be the hype? Yeah. Are you back in Chicago now? Because I know you were in Chicago at one point, then you were not in Chicago, you were elsewhere.
Yeah. So I'm in San Diego now, but just staying here for like seasonally for a couple months, just avoiding the snow because I can work remote. But yeah, in Chicago, I would say Hot Butcher is super hype. You know, 450 isn't far. It's our neighbor in Indiana. But a lot of the beer like really lives up to like the hype. I think in Chicago, like a lot of the breweries that are hot right now, you know, like I know Microphone and you know, More, and there's a lot of hype around their special releases, their barrel aged stuff. Like that shit's good. Like,
yeah,
worth it. Like they're doing it right.
But I don't see you having 450 on your account much.
No.
No,
I
like
was-
I got it in trade in 2018, and then I kind of got over it, and I was like, I had to literally tell my traders, I was like, I'm backing off trades. I'm sorry, it's not personal. Like I just.
I remember that.
Yeah, I felt.
I remember
bad.
that.
You and I
Yeah.
traded a lot.
Yes,
Like I just couldn't like keep up and drink that much, and my health. You know, I wanted. It was like gaining all this weight, and I was like, all right, I need to like.
That comes
Yeah,
with the
my
territory.
trade's still pending, so let you know that.
So what's everybody got as a cruising beer? What do you have, Jess?
So this is this little brewery in San Diego, or a little bit north of San Diego. It's called West Brew. It's in Vista, and it's a gorgeous space. I was just there the other day, and I picked up a 4-pack of their hazy, and you know, I shamelessly call myself a haze girl because I know that that's just how it rolls. So not hype, but exciting and new and very
That
fresh.
works.
That's
Ricky,
okay
what
with
do you
me.
got?
Exciting and new.
All right, I got the Candy Lane Colada Slushy XL, raspberry, pineapple, and coconut. 450, man.
I do like raspberry.
So I personally am going with Science and Sorcery from
yeah,
Equilibrium and Electric. I personally am pretty close to Electric, so I've picked up a few of theirs, and the hype on them is insane. But every beer I've had from them is pretty damn solid. But shout out to Ricky for that one. So
Their
hype
hype
on
came
that.
like out of nowhere too.
Yeah, I remember back in the day, they were like, you know, a good brewery, but not a big deal. Now it's just like, Jesus, like,
With electric.
yes.
Yeah,
they
like-
sell
They're
out
like in
so fast.
Muriata or something, or
Temecula.
Temecula, I want to say.
Hype last year.
they're like they're like in the middle of nowhere, right?
Oh,
No, they're
Kind
they're
of.
close to other places.
Are they close to 8-bit?
Very close, down the street.
I should have went there then.
No, they're closed. You can only pick it up on the release days.
Oh, okay.
I think that adds to the hype.
Equilibrium was another hype when they first started off, man. I mean, they still are, I guess. They still get the crowds, but you know that you can find it now at other places. But when they first started releasing stuff out of the original location, those lines were insane, dude. You just sit there for hours.
Right, but they get it on the shelf.
they did a drop in Chicago, right? Around the Festival of Beer. They came and they brought a bunch of cans and they dropped it like all the bottle shops, and it was sold out. People were just like in line. They're like, EQ, I can't get it, and they just went crazy for it. It was not last fall, but the fall before.
I mean, and EQ is good. They just don't keep well.
What about you, Gordy? What you got?
So I'm going with actually a hype brewery that I think is hit and miss for me, Drecker. So this is actually really good. I enjoyed this, but I've had some of their slushy shit and it's just not for me. You know, I did have the double IPA hazy the other day and that was super delicious. So I'm going to try to steer more towards their normal beers over the slushy stuff.
What about you, Al?
Actually, this is a beer that I got from you that I'm hopefully allowed to drink. That's supposed to. The Foggy Window Herbie edition, I guess. This
that
is
was
actually,
delicious.
as far as the East Coast goes, this is considered the most hype beer we can get from the West Coast.
Yep.
You know, once you get this, it's like you've reached Mecca for some reason. But you know, once you've had them, and I've said it before, they're very comparable to other half beers.
Yes.
So, not that I wasn't impressed, but I really, in my mind, I was expecting a lot more. But not that this beer isn't delicious because it is really, really tasty. So this is definitely a hype beer, in my opinion, for East Coasters.
Which
Definitely.
I think they're okay.
What do you think, Jess?
They're really stable. Like their beers, I think, the monkish stuff, like you can have it and it's still good. Like weeks and weeks and weeks later, it's like, oh, you pull one out of the fridge, you forgot, and you're like, damn, this still tastes good, and that's a good sign.
Agreed. Bruja, what do you got?
Yeah, I have one of those breweries too, a local one that was not hype, and all of a sudden, overnight, just blew up. It's a rosé from King's.
You know, Bruja loves her
It's
frosé.
Yeah, no, they're great.
I've been kind of sitting on this one, not wanting to drink it. I'm not a peanut butter fan. Al did tell me that the peanut butter has a bit of a presence. So it's a peach, golden berry, vanilla bean, peanut butter, vanilla soft serve, and watermelon.
Such an awkward adjunct combination, but for me,
That's a mouthful for
Yeah.
sure.
it works.
But
Yeah.
you wouldn't even eat ice cream like that. So I'm wondering, was it like
What if you
all the
smoked weed?
leftover flavors? Like, let's just throw it all in.
Uh-huh. Like
Yeah.
the jungle juice from the college parties.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yes.
Ice cream,
Yeah.
what do you got?
I went with something that was in the back of my fridge that I just wanted to still drink it, but it is Other Half Triple Broccoli Reserve. And Other Half's broccoli anything, people
Yeah.
are like, I want it. So
Yes.
you know what? It still tastes good. It's from May of
Damn.
last year.
That should have been your chugging beer.
That's what Rich said, but
True. Yeah.
I really wanted to taste it because I've had other broccolis, but you know, they come out with all of their reserve one. This is a special reserve one. They have like all different kind of broccoli, everything, but everybody likes it. Their shirts, glasses. So I just figured it was hype enough.
Any cauliflower?
Definitely. Hype.
Cauliflower.
Rich, what do you got?
I'm also going with Other Half. I have Dream Gems. It's a oat cream IPA, 6.5%.
Nice.
I
Nice.
kind of feel the same. Like I was saying, like Monkish is kind of the East Coast gem. Like you kind of reached, you kind of got something from like the Mecca or whatever. On the East Coast, when you get Monkish, I think the West Coast kind of looks at Other Half that way because I don't see a lot of people getting that in anything but trades. Although for us on the East Coast, it's a lot easier to get. They don't typically sell out. They have a very good surplus of their beers when they can. But I think for the West Coast, this is for the people that aren't into smoothies and frosés and stuff like that. I think Other Half, if you're into IPAs, this is solid. This is like the best to get.
So my 2 cents from the West Coast, I think it's Other Half and Trillium. I think Trillium is always one of the beers we're trying to get, but I still haven't got my hands on it.
Yeah, Trillium is absolutely
is
one of the best
solid.
beers around. Sure.
Yeah.
And Treehouse as well. Those three like,
That's
are
right,
the ones that
yeah.
people look for. Hudson Valley Brewing as well. Sorry.
Actually, you're the treehouse guys for us because you
Yeah.
always send it to us.
Yeah.
So.
Like, I think that's one of the
And we're-
interesting. Go
We're
ahead,
always
Richard.
looking for the further east was stuff for us, like the Hill Farmstead and stuff like that. We're always looking for that
Yes.
stuff out here.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Actually, before I say my next point, J-Hump, what do you got, bro?
I also got Monkish, the hip and hop. This was actually in my giveaway.
Which
I
actually
tasted
did
this
really
one.
good.
What's that?
Giveaway.
You did really good on your giveaway.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of people got in there.
Good. Man.
They sort of
I wanna-
monkish. They jumped in on that shit, man. That'll do it.
I had to throw Monkish in there because you knew a bunch of people was gonna hop on there once they saw that.
Yeah.
Monkish and green
Hype
tea.
beer.
Free beer, hey. But my thing with Monkish is I think they're overhyped. They're good, don't get me wrong, but when I look at their hop combinations on every beer that they put out every week, it's kind of the same. So it's kind of like
Right.
they're on autopilot. They're just throwing beers out left or right.
You're about to
this
get some
one out-
maintenance.
Yeah.
What's
Watch out
that?
with the blasphemy.
It's
This is
okay. I'll
trash.
back that up. I always tell them that they always use the same recipe. They just change one hop with everything. So
Yeah,
It is what
I
it
noticed
is.
that, but they're still good. But I think they can do better.
So
Yeah.
I know everybody hypes up Monkish. Everybody from the East Coast wants Monkish, but I've been pushing Green Chicken Highland Park, and I think my East Coast people have actually loved what I've sent from them.
Sure.
I think
I'll say that.
I think Green Cheek is better than Monkish in my opinion.
Absolutely.
And I know Cisco's gonna be like,
What are you
But,
talking about? I'm
okay.
on board with that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
I'll
okay, good.
I'll
Good.
definitely vote for
I don't know.
Green Cheek over Monkish any day.
I think
Cisco's a big fan of
an
Highland Park right
underrated
now.
brewery that we have on the West Coast is Pure. I think Pure is getting super solid, and
I love beer.
Super
Yeah,
underrated.
Pure's also
I
a
was
great
going to
Super
say the
underrated.
same thing. I was going to chime in and say the same exact thing. I think Pure is not, you don't see people posting a lot of Pure in their posts, but I don't think I have ever had anything that wasn't solid from Pure.
Pure will be a hype beer if it keeps doing amazing beer like it is. And you know who else will be a hype beer? Humble
Oh
Sea.
yeah. Humble Sea.
Oh,
They
yeah.
will
Actually,
for
Humble Sea
sure.
is kind of a hype beer here now.
Oh, really?
oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah, on the East Coast, people want to get more. I mean, Ricky, he can attest to that. People would like to get their hands on more of the Humble Seats because they actually do make the style of West Coast, that the West Coast style IPA. Monkish makes these now, which
Right.
we already have. So I kind of want West Coast IPA style beers from them, like, you know, Humble Seats.
So let me ask everybody this question, and Jess, you actually touched on it earlier, which was, maybe it's just me, but you almost hit a wall with these hype beers where if you get so many of a certain brewery, like it actually kind of fades away. Like you're just kind of like, yeah, I'll drink it, whatever, it's there. I don't really care.
I don't feel like that about Pure.
No?
Get really spoiled. Are you guys talking about Pure Project?
I'm talking about everyone in
Yeah.
general. Everyone
Yeah.
from
Yes.
you know 450, Monkish to other half. If
I'm
you
like
will,
that with
the Boston-
Treehouse, and people are like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" But
Yeah,
You've had a lot of it. That's just it. You
that, yeah, I mean, I've had almost every one of their cans, with the exception of the new releases, obviously. But you know, when you've had it, it's like you want to move on to something different. I've always like wanted people to send me their mom and pop breweries.
I love that. Yeah. Stuff that you
Yeah.
can
What do you
get
think,
from-
Rich?
Yeah.
Rich was going to add something.
Now, I was just gonna say, has anybody noticed that? I think a lot of the posts that I see, a lot of them are usually, like I said, those smoothies and sours, the Berliner Weisses and stuff.
The froze and stuff.
You know, yeah, Froze 450, RAR with the out order. But has anybody noticed that also like Tripping Animals has kind of like fallen off? Like I don't see anybody posting Tripping Animals anymore. Like I used
No.
to see a lot.
Great
Like
point.
they had their 15 minutes and then they disappeared.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great point because they were actually hype like 2 months ago. People were like
Yeah.
wanting, you know. Now I really don't see people even giving a shit. You know, I mean, it's, you know, I don't.
Bruja, you were going to say something?
Yeah, just my quick 2 cents before I hop off. I think it's always about like who can come up with the next biggest thing and who can come up with like the next craziest flavor combination that makes or that adds to them being hype. Like in King's case, you know, they're throwing in all these like random things, but people are going so crazy over trying to locate them. I don't know.
It's my next beer I'm going to drink is a King's, actually. Speak of the devil.
Right, that's the thrills, right?
Kings with thrills, yeah.
Right,
I'm a
because
sucker
like,
for
and that's
collaboration.
actually like that's one of the more popular beers now. The Froze, the Fro, the Thrills, those fruity, like almost like shake like that you can put in the freezer for like 15 minutes and get like a nice slushy. Those things are really popular, like the Kings. That's a very hype thing right now.
That's not a beer.
I was
hype.
really hoping
Sorry.
to get like the smoothie kind of action. Every time I've put them in there, like no matter how long, like 15 to 45 minutes, I can't get it.
But
I
did you
don't
shake
know.
the can before you poured it?
Yep. Shake
Correct
it,
me if
put a
I'm
little shred
wrong,
roll in
but-
it.
Yeah, you got to give it a good shake and yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Bruja, but didn't Kings come out with the whatever the 5 IPA was?
The quintuple IPA. Yeah, actually that one was
Quintuple, yeah.
really freaking
What?
good.
Yeah.
I think you won,
yeah.
Beer Lover. Yeah.
And what? Why? I mean, I guess that's a selling point. Yeah, like we're the first people to have a quintuplet. Whatever.
True.
That's just.
But on that
so the
note, I
ABV was
think-
really high on that then.
12.5%, I think. But it
So
doesn't
triple,
hit
on that
like
note,
that hard.
Sorry.
I'm thinking about Pure, and they're always dropping their quadruple IPAs, and they're always
All right,
super
Bruja.
solid. So I'm just curious
yeah.
how this Kings was. Oh, she's out. So that's awkward.
I think Pure is,
You know what though, you guys? Like one thing to add about Pure Project is that we got like very minimal distro of them in Chicago, and so it just became like whatever. Like it's getting on the shelves now, and it's like that's another thing that goes into like hype beer, where it's like when I came out to San Diego for the first time last year to visit before all the shutdown and everything, I was like, that was my place. I was like, Modern Times, for sure, Pure Project. I was like, I have to get there. McKellar, you know, whatever. But it was super hype. And then now it's like, okay, you can get it. You can get like the, what is it, the Fingers of Gold or
Mhm.
whatever.
Romeo and
yeah.
Julius, all that.
Mhm.
Yeah, Bristol Case has all the Pure now, so it's easy to get now.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I want to say those are all just the regular beers. So you're
Yeah,
not getting the
yeah.
really
That's
like
the
special
rotational,
collabs.
you know.
Yeah,
Their
But like,
bi-weekly releases sell out sometimes within 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
those are
Actually,
the ones that people are looking for, not the staple beers.
Definitely.
But I would say about Pure Project also, they don't care about can art the way that other people are making all these gimmicks up and, like you said, play on when we're younger and things like that. They're straight about the environment. Like
They
that's
are.
their main goal. And I think if you are a beer drinker and you're drinking beer for the taste of beer,
Yeah.
that's where they kick everyone's ass. And at the end of the day, like you could make an IPA that's a triple. It tastes so harsh that it's hard to drink it.
Right.
If you can drink a pure triple and it's easy, like I don't know. To me, that the clean taste is the best part for me.
So I'm curious. Okay, so I'm thinking of a few breweries in particular, including Pure and like Albert Street, and I was gonna say Fieldworks, but what makes the difference, including other half, between a hype beer or hype brewery and a brewery that's just making amazingly solid beers like Fieldwork? Fieldwork, I don't consider them a hype beer at all. Alvarado Street, same thing. But without a doubt, their beers are freaking amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
And
what's the
in
difference?
my opinion, I think they get overlooked. Fieldworks and
Yeah.
Alvarado gets overlooked like crazy just
Yeah.
because these other hype beers, they take over everything on the West Coast. But
There's
they're
definitely a lot
solid.
of under the radar beers, and those happen to be those beers for some reason. Maybe again the can art, like with Pure, yeah, they have a very simple, basic, can. There's nothing
So-
really hype about it, but their beer is fucking phenomenal.
So at the beginning of the year, I kind of did like a little test for myself. I posted a Monkish beer and I got close to like 280 likes. Then I posted a Fieldworks pick and I got about 180, kind of 200. And I was like, the Fieldworks was way better than Monkish, and people don't even realize that.
Yeah.
Just because they see the name, they see the design, and they're like, oh, this is a great
Yeah.
beer.
That's the Instagram algorithms fucking just hyping up the fucking.
Yeah.
If that's the truth, if there's that.
It's
But it
a lot
also
of the
makes for a
hashtags,
good-
too. Like
It
your
makes for a good
hashtags.
picture.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure like a lot of people
Yeah.
like the picture,
Like,
but
look at what I got. Yeah.
If people
shit like
don't
that.
recognize like
Right,
the story, then they're not going to be excited about it, and they're not going to, it's like brand recognition. The fieldwork that I had was amazing, and when I remember I posted it like
Yes.
a month ago, and people didn't know what it was, but
Right.
it may be more special for us then because we're like, well, we know this stuff. And it's really
Right.
good.
Definitely.
Well, I think like Sam said is that it's also the hashtags, because how many people are
Right.
following like a Fieldworks hashtag compared to a Monkish hashtag?
That's a good
True.
point, man. So
But I
True.
really appreciate having those gems like Fieldwork because you can get it and it's awesome and you don't have to fight people for it.
you're not
Like-
you don't have to be online
Yeah.
for hours, and
That's
Yeah.
how I
you're
feel.
not gonna get it.
Yeah. I mean, so I'm kind of like keep it and not a hype beer.
And I want to say, I think I sent Al and Ricky some Fieldworks, and you guys really actually enjoyed them too.
Yeah,
You guys
actually
were
reviewed
happy
one.
about
them.
That's a lot of
Yes.
love for it.
I have one can from Sis that he sent me. Fieldworks. I'm like gonna jump into that sometime soon.
definitely.
But yeah, they're one of those beers that are actually really great, but they're under the radar, unfortunately.
So I'm
So
curious,
I
Which is
asked-
actually a good thing in a way.
Jess,
Go
I'm
ahead, Cisco.
since
Oh.
Jess is on here today, I was curious, since you spend time back and forth in like, what is it, the Midwest and here in the West, have you seen any hype brewery like hype follow from the Midwest to the West? Like you're like, I could see these types of beers or this brewery starting to make a lot of noise. I have a feeling they're going to get big. And sure enough, when you hit the West Coast, you're like, well, yeah, here everybody is like, please, we want this, we love it. And you're like, yeah, I could have seen that coming. You see
Mhm.
trends, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. When I first found out about the Pure Project, I was like, okay, like, I didn't realize how good their stuff was. And I already had friends in Chicago be like, can you send me Pure Project? Can you send me Pure Project? And I'm like, I'm not really chasing stuff, but like, yeah, let me know what you want and I'll try to get it for you. It's like, I think that they have just blown up in that regard, like people from the Midwest knowing that, to your guys' point, that they're putting out really good releases and really great stuff. But then I come here and all of the amazing smaller breweries in Chicago, like no one in San Diego has heard of them. Like I'll talk about Microphone, I'll talk about more, even Revolution, which is like the OG, it was like the first big brewery. Obviously everyone knows Goose Island, but yeah, people are like, they don't know Chicago beer. And I'm like, wait a second, what? That's like my life, you know? So it's weird. It's like I'm trying to spread the word and get people to like I brought some phase 3. I don't know if you guys know phase 3, but I brought some
Yes.
phase 3.
Yes.
Yeah, phase,
I remember
phase
you
three
gave
is
me some
good.
phase 3, and phase 3 was absolutely phenomenal beer.
Amazing.
But they're
So
not, but
I
for
actually-
whatever reason, they don't get that recognition that every other beer should get that has that same quality of, you know, flavor and, you know, what it is. It was a great beer.
So I actually started drinking phase 3 through Hoppycat. She sent me a couple cans, and I was like, this is a really good brewery. And I want to say I started following Microphone because of you, Jess. I was like, okay, I want to see what this brewery is all about. And I got a couple beers into War, and I was actually really happy with them.
Yeah.
Mhm. Same here.
It's good to know. It's good to know you guys know. I've heard of the smaller spots in Chicago.
How big is a Hop Butcher out in Chicago area? Because I've thankfully had 2, I think it is, but they were both amazing.
They're the definition of like the hype train. Like
Oh, really?
it's good. Don't get me wrong, but they're like it's like fanboys on fanboys. Like it's like any drop that they have, people just go nuts and go pick it up right away at the shop. Have people hold it, you know, hold the cans for them. They might be falling off a little bit just because it's hard to keep up, and I think they've been around for a while now, and it is very much the same. You know, you're getting it's kind of your same base beer, and then it's like different hops every time, and then sometimes they do like some sours and stouts, and they had a really great stout last year called Fat Bear, but yeah, they're just super hype. They actually don't even have their own space, so they brew out of Miskatonic, which is a smaller suburban brewery, and I heard rumors that they're looking for their own space finally, but yeah, they're just like every week there's new cans coming out. It's just crazy town.
Nice.
So Jess, is Hop Butcher, they're not going into distro, right? They're still like a brewery beer. They're not like putting it out in like a supermarket or whatever, because I know a lot of breweries are
I've seen
now
Hop Butcher out
going
here.
into distribution.
They are just.
I've seen Hop Butcher up here in New York.
Really? I
Really?
haven't seen it.
I know they distro all in Chicago. I don't know. I didn't know that they were distroing out of state yet. That's cool.
See, and that for me personally, I think that also damages like the desire to want a beer when you can readily go to the supermarket and get it, or like, you know, a beverage store and stuff. Like other half, they've distributed their rotational beers, and like when I see it at like Ricky and I go to this place halftime, it's a beer store. It never sells out, and I'm thinking to myself, like, you know, normally those beers would be gone, but you put it in a supermarket, everybody doesn't really want it as much. So
Right.
True.
How
Absolutely
Butcher
true.
was like, people would be like, okay, it's Tuesday at 3:00. Like they're gonna drop the cans at whatever. Like I'm gonna go to, you know, Benny's or whatever, my local bottle shop. Like it was crazy. That was how it was back like 10 years ago for Zombie Fest. You know, Three Floyds. It was like, now I feel like that's like the get off my lawn beer. You know, like that's where we started. You know, like I'm closer to 40 than 30, and like I was drinking that, you know, a long time ago. It was like, man, you know, that we used to literally go like, okay, did the truck come? Like call Benny's, you know, and like that's how Hop Butcher was for a while. I think they're steady. They have their base. Their fan base is like super, you know, plugged in.
I think you also got to think of the situation we're in. Some of those big breweries are only going to survive if you're distributing right now. I mean, anyway, you know, we can't get online anymore at Other Half. We can't get online anymore at Treehouse. So
congregating, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So the only way to survive right now is like, hey, listen, I got all this beer. I got to get it out somehow.
Yeah, for you to go to Treehouse, you have to stay in your car and do this whole zigzag fucking bullshit.
I've seen those
Pick up your
lines.
beers.
Things are
Horrible.
crazy.
Horrible.
Drama.
I think I waited 2.5 hours.
Cisco, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I was just gonna say. So before we make hype beers seem like the worst thing in the world, which I don't think we have. Can we
They
just
make the world
end?
go around.
There you go. Can we just end on a positive note of what's that one hype beer that you really want to get that you haven't? Even if you're like, okay, I've had this, but I haven't had maybe this particular variation and I really want it. So just think about that. Anybody want to share? Ricky, go for it.
Yeah. There's a place in I believe it's Maine. I don't remember the name of the town, but they're called Barreled Souls. And I hear good things. I've only had tasters. I've only had 2 tasters of 2 bottles that somebody brought. For me, that would be like right now, like, you know, I will go out and look for those rarities. So those 2 would be for me, the stuff that I need to get right now. Barreled Souls. I think they're in Portland, Maine.
So quickly, me personally, I've only had one out of order, but it was amazing. So I'd love to get my hands on more. What about you, Rich?
Urban South is one. I definitely want to try Urban South. But what's the other one? God, I can't think of the freaking name. Out of New
We'll
York.
come back to you because we got to go. We got less than a minute. Go ahead,
So
Gordy.
for me, it'll be Tripping Animals. I still want to get my hands on it. I want to see what it's all about.
Nice. Al,
Dreckers. Never had anything from Dreckers. Never.
Oh,
talk.
wow.
We got to talk. Jess.
I've had some of it at GABF. Corliss, Pure Project's Corliss was mind-blowingly awesome. I want to drink more. I want to try variants. I want to get my hands on that.
Nice. Ice Queen.
It's gonna be Dream out of Berlin, Maryland, because I used to live like 20 minutes from there, and I've never had any. So that would be. I love all those breweries down there. So yeah.
J-Hump.
Trillium. I really want it.
Nice.
Done.
Got you, man. I got you.
Rich, did you think of it?
No, I can't think of it.
All right. Screw it.
Another one of mine is Horace. If anybody has a
Oh, Horus, yes. Yeah, we get that here, sure.
With that being said,
I was just lit up.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
Horus is a
everybody.
great beer.
We're going to try to put some more together. Obviously, I've been drinking. But anyway, we're going to have random chugs soon enough. Everything from ciders to all I could think of, you know, some other disgusting black IPA
Stout.
stouts.
But anyway, thanks again, Jess, for joining us. And with that,
Thank you, Jess.
this is
Thank
Chug.
you.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
Chi-Town in the house.
Bye.